This is a short movie taken in the Wellington Street Gallery in Wellington Street, which is run by Robert and Inara Reed. It's Robert at the desk there. And this is just a short introduction to what is very unusual for a gallery, because in a way it's a personal collection of paintings. This, for instance, is Jeff Dyer, a major piece, really beautiful, in the back alley there. This is an early painting by Robin McKinnon, who is a very well-known Tasmanian painter. She's got a really beautiful piece in the art gallery at the moment. This one is an earlier work. It's full of event and satire, you know, people smoking and putting nappies on children, and it's the bustle of Salamanca Place and the market. And it's got a terrific vividness and sort of Hockneyish look, very gifted painter. As going around the walls here, the gallery is also a framing place. There's a range of frames, and the framing takes place actually smack in the middle of the gallery. On the back wall here, there are a group by a number of painters. If I can find my way through without falling over, I'll start with this is a painting by David Scarborough, a landscape. David Scarborough is a local Tasmanian painter who works in pastel very ably as well. It's a beautiful local piece. This is a very odd, original, haunting sort of painting by somebody called Rose Davidson. And it's a largest abstract. No one seems, we can't find out much about her, but it has echoes of many things, but when you look in closely, you find it's full of figures. Here's somebody sitting at a table drinking tea. There's a lady standing over him, a very tall lady, who is waving a cloth. And very interesting painting generally. These are two sketches by David Scarborough, who is a very fine figure painter and draftsman. And second one there. This is a painting by Elizabeth Vasiliev, who was the wife of Danila Vasiliev, who is of course very well known. Elizabeth is not known so well at all, at least as far as I know, but she's clearly a very fine painter, very interesting, and it's great to see things like that. This is a piece painted at the gorge in Flood. This is the cataract gorge that runs through Launceston. This is a painting by Jonathan Bowden, who's also the voice on the camera at the moment. And this is a really lovely central desert landscape by Clifton Pugh. Mysterious, beautiful painting. He used to paint, well, everywhere really, but especially around Tibooburra. This is a still life by Greg Irvin, large piece on paper, very complex, very well worked, which is both still life, figure, interior, all the sort of Bonnard theme, really. Very well done, beautifully done. Here on this wall there are another two pieces by the voice on the camera, Jonathan Bowden, tree, river, and down here, as I'm moving into the next room, this is a very interesting sequence, because these are 14 painters which have been bought by the gallery, all done by painters from Utopia in Central Australia. And some of the figures are very well known. This is by Gloria Pachari, who is extremely famous, has won the Wynne Prize at least once and shown many times. And she works big. This is quite small for her, but very unhesitating. The strokes start at the top and move down, and it builds into fighting reflections here, but I'll just have to go to the edge. But it's a lovely piece, very free in colour. This is by George Ward Chungarai. The effect of the distance and the sort of choice of subject in the males is rather different than the females. They seem, you get the impression you could be at 20 or 30,000 feet looking down at the gullies, And as you get close to them, you find that everything is completely unhesitating. It's like a dance step. There's only one place to put your foot, and that's the right one. But however complex it is, it's all built up from these very simple, unhesitating beginnings. And the same is true of the women painters. This one is by the sister of Gloria Pichari, who's called Kathleen Pichari. It's called Bush Seed Dreaming. But when you get up close, it could be the beginning of the universe. It could be stars. It could be anything. It's really pretty amazing. And there's another piece this one is by Grace Morton. That's a Bush Plum Dreaming. There's another piece there in the center by Elizabeth Vasiliev. And these three remaining paintings are again by painters in Utopia. The one on this wall here is by a painter called Thomas Chapalchari, and it's the Tingari story. Thomas Chapalchari, as a young man, walked out of the desert, the central desert, into Western Australia along with, I think, 2 brothers, looking for a bride. And the sight of his first white man scared the wits out of him. He said he thought he was an evil spirit with a skin the color of clouds at sunrise. And the painter the young man went on to become a very distinguished painter, as did his brothers. There's another one arriving by one of his brothers soon. This piece in the corner is by Patricia Camara Rambler. Again, this characteristic emphasis with women painters when you look close up is on vegetation, the structure of things, seeds, plants, and in that case a bush medicine plant. This is another one by George Wood Chungarai. Again, the aerial feeling that you're watching the desert as if you were dreaming about it in your sleep or looking out of an aeroplane by moonlight. This extraordinary piece is called Bush Plum Dreaming. It's by Jennifer Kingwari, and it's done by dipping a stick or a brush into 2 colors. That's the sort of bead effect. Looks like a mosaic of beads, but it's not. I made a mistake with the name there. I'm sorry. That's that's Yam Dreaming. This one is by Rosalie Napalchari, Sandhills. Really lovely color. Moving through into the gallery behind. This is one of Robert Reed's pieces. He's a very extremely able painter himself. And there's another one in the back, which I'll come to in a minute. The another little one by Robert Reed. This here in the back is called Thalassic Life, and it's an abstract by Barbara Mackay, who is well known, very loose, very pleasant, very skillfully painted, really. These are two lovely little ones by Elizabeth Vasiliev again. This one is called Single Mother, and the one above it is called Superior Male, or so he would like to think. And again, we're walking by, trying to survive the reflections, walking by this piece by Jeff Dyer, and moving through into the back of the gallery. Again, another extremely nice piece by Robert Reed, and to find the reflections again there. A moonlit one. Night sky. This is a very beautifully crafted nude study by Don Villiers, who is one of a group of painters in Launceston who study the nude on a consistent sort of basis. Beach scene by David Scarborough. Three Graces by David Scarborough. And this one in the corner is a landscape worked out at Coralline, watercolour by one of the Melbourne 20, Clive Sinclair, a very fine painter. And there are two more little ones also in the gallery, which are further in the corner over there. This is just coming back gradually down the corridor. So it's really quite a treasure trove, and it's at the same time a gallery, a collection, and a framing shop.